What the fuck?
It's like croutons in a soup.
Don't turn down any opportunity, whether it's a camp, a clinic, because you never know literally who's watching.
Make your own decision and stick with them and know they're the right decisions, right? And even if they aren't right, don't regret them.
He didn't know creatine existed. So you got some creatine? He's like, oh, yeah. Lift heavyweight.
Shipped across the border. I shipped across the border.
Shipped across the border, man.
Welcome back to Shipped Across the Border. Yeah. Okay, so pretty much how it works when we do it on Zoom is we only have like 45 minutes to like have the meeting going, and then it's gonna like shut off, save the recording, and then we're gonna have to send you a new link to join for, I guess, the second half. So hopefully,
because we're too cheap to buy Zoom Pro. So
it's been 4 years doing this shit, and we've definitely gotten some incentives, but no cash to the Shipped Across the Border bank account. So,
well, do I need to donate to the fund now?
yeah, I mean that would be much appreciated. No, I honestly,
it'd be nice to not have a break in between your Zooms, so maybe we can at least figure that part out.
Well, we don't usually have guests on Zoom. Usually we've been traveling a little bit, doing mostly in-person stuff. But I mean, we've got to make accommodations for the GOAT back on the podcast.
Crazy Glaze.
Have you tapped into any of the episodes since we've been separation from Medaille?
It's funny. I have. So I live about an hour and 5 minutes from campus.
Okay.
So I drive to and from every day. So I have like 7 podcasts I listen to, and you guys are in the loop of podcasts. So
top 7.
I do.
You've heard that we've definitely mentioned your name probably about 100 times in the last 3 years since we've been.
Yeah, whenever you want to shit on a coach for making you do yes, I've heard that.
We try to preface it a little bit.
No, it's definitely.
You have to paint around the edges and kind of help me out.
How has everything been? You've finished your 3rd year at FDU Florham.
Yeah.
How has everything been? I want you to talk about that experience. How basically having Medaille 2.0 over there with Quan, Rory, Mac, Murs and stuff, and just get into that.
Yeah, honestly, that first year was really hard. I think just being away from you guys and coming to a new place and not a lot of familiarity. And we weren't very good, to say the least. And it was funny. So Quan I think he hit me up in November of my first year here, and he's like, "Hey, I don't really like it at Marietta. Could I come aboard? Come on home right away." And then it's funny because then Mac and Murs hit me up, and they're like, "Coach, I don't really like where I'm at. Could I come play for you?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." And then obviously having Girardi this year was pretty cool. So I think it kind of gave me more, it kind of made it more feel like home, I guess, and made the transition a little bit easier.
For sure.
But yeah, first year wasn't very good. Second year, we had a pretty big jump. We had the most conference wins we've had here in about 6 years, and we had the first time we had a winning non-conference record since 2006. So it's been 20 years since we did that. And then I thought we would have been a little bit better this year, but Quan tore his other ACL the first practice of the year. And then our second or third best player in the preseason, he broke his wrist going to dunk on one of our freshmen, and his hand went that way and his wrist went that way. So he was out for the year. So we lost 2 of our top 3 to start the year, and we finished out great. I think next year will be pretty good. It's just been a harder rebuild than I thought it would be. But man, it was fun having those dudes back because they made the transition easier. I don't know if I'd still be doing this if they didn't come.
For sure. It sounds very similar to kind of like what we experienced here, because we were pretty awful in my first year here, and then we got a new coach coming from a successful program in Nebraska Wesleyan, and then it's kind of been a slow rebuild of last year. Like you said, we had the most conference wins in 10 years, and then this year we had probably the best record in the last decade, and definitely the best out of conference record in the last 20 years probably too. So it sounds like it's very, very similar. I would have loved to have played against you guys one of these 3 years.
So I've tried to schedule games against former players. I did it against Zamir with Hartwick.
We were supposed to play Hardwick too, and they dropped us last minute, unfortunately. So then we ended
This
up
year?
having to go. Yeah, then we ended up having to go to Southern Maine Community College on the Friday. So we had a game on like the Saturday, then we had exam week, and then we had to stay till the next. Basically, had a week. I could have gone a week early on winter break, but we had to stay a week of exams and practices in order to go up to Southern Maine Community College to replace playing Zymir. So it was a little bit unfortunate. Definitely, we actually did play Hartwick, and we lost on a game winner my first year here when we were I don't think I or Zymir touched the court that game.
So Zai, I think they came down my second year. So when we had Quan, Mac.
So the same year as when we played them. That's fine.
Yes. And I mean, we were up. I think we were up like 22 at half, but then we struggled in the second half a little bit. But Zai was just coming back from injury, so unfortunately he didn't get to play. Otherwise, I wanted to talk shit to him throughout the game. Like I was more looking forward to that.
You guys almost had Bryce over there too. I think it was just like a couple paperwork away things from really having a full Medaille lineup at some points.
Honest to God, he was literally, he visited, he came, he did his visit and all that. And unfortunately, I see, this is why I don't get, because Bryce couldn't get financial aid, yet Rory's been in school for like 12 years. All right, like I don't understand. Otherwise, Bryce would have been here too, so we'd have had 5 Medaille kids.
That would have been
There was a moment in time where we like jokingly kind of half considered like hitting you up just to see at one point. Yeah, we were just going to fly over.
It was more than half considered. It was more of like...
It was like 60-40. Like Ian Green was here and we were all like talking like how crazy would it be if we all just jumped ship and went straight down to Coach Hack and just had like a full reunion moment. And I don't remember why.
Well, because so obviously year one, Medaille closes for our freshman year.
Are you paying the same tuition as you were at Medaille?
No. Probably a little bit similar. Probably relatively similar.
I'd have to look at the exact financials, but I'm definitely playing more here. Like, definitely more here.
That's why Zymir almost came. Zymir almost left Hartwick, but then he's like, I can't because it's so cheap.
Yeah,
we're not.
Because he is a New York kid, yeah. I'm probably paying a little bit more. To be honest with you, like, as we've been to Elms, I'm sure now you're at FDU. No shot to Medaille and the way they ran things. But there's a lot more regulations and stuff at other institutions than there definitely was at Medaille. So it would not shock me that a lot of people were definitely going to Medaille for not much money. But that was definitely a place to be. But I was saying was, so obviously year one Medaille closes, super unexpected. Mm-hmm. And around the exact same time, the current coach who recruited me became the athletic director. So then they had a vacancy for the head coaching job. So when there was a vacancy for the head coaching job, we really didn't know what was going to happen. And so, like, I mean, maybe we go over to FDU and see what's going on because, I mean, you really have no idea. As for me, I mean, I had no film from first year. I came back hurt and was shell of myself for the first year. And then year two, adjusting to a new system, a new college again for the second time. I mean, I saw the court in mostly just, like, garbage time scenarios, which is definitely a step up from not seeing the court at all. But I had no, like, quality film to be able to send to coaches or enter the portal. So, or also for like, you never know what's going to happen when a new coach comes. He got the program and bring in his guys from other places. And so really didn't know what to do. But I mean, it honestly worked out real well for us of the coach getting hired really late. So he didn't recruit anybody. So it was kind of just like a tryout type of thing over here for the returners and I guess local people who wanted an opportunity. And then that was the core that kind of built off for those 2 years. So I guess it worked out in my favor to stay here.
Beeman didn't want to get the shoes back on. He didn't want to try back.
Beeman has the shoes back on tonight, actually, which we'll get into.
There was a moment when we got here where Max was like, "Yo, you should consider trying out." But at that point, I was up like 40 pounds, and I was fat as shit. Like I came into that season looking like Zymir freshman year. Like, I was fat, and so there was no way that like if I would have tried to turn the corner and become, it just wasn't a possibility.
Wait, after your freshman year going into Elms, you put on 40 pounds?
I could show you the pictures. It was out like I could fold the fat over my sides. Like it was absurd.
But you love working out, so did you just stop for a bit?
No, like I was still working out, but it was just like bulk, like chocolate milk, burgers, chicken, just anything I could get my hands on. And when we got here, the difference, like Medaille, the dining hall is like you get like one meat, one carb or whatever. When we got here, it's buffet style. Like you can get whatever you want. And so it was just like 3 pieces of pizza, a couple burger patties, 2 glasses of chocolate milk. It was endless. And so I just tried to put on as much weight as possible, and it was definitely not the best for my basketball career.
A long way from eating grass-fed meat.
Shut.
we still joke with him about how he blew his whole bank account in his first 3 months of college eating only grass-fed stuff. That was a good time. That was time to be alive for sure.
Incredible.
Yeah.
18-hour fast, going to running, doing suicides with bricks into eating a A grass-fed meal is definitely time to be alive for sure.
Yeah.
Run around Delaware Park a couple times. You're good.
I forgot about that. I didn't even have to do that. I'm not traumatized by that.
Yeah. I was going to ask immediately, when you came into FDU, and you guys weren't that great, obviously, what is the first change that you make as a coach looking at that scenario that you walked into?
It's a good question. I think the biggest thing was figuring out why the program hasn't been good for 2 decades, right? And like what's been going on behind the curtains, right? Like what are lifts like? What's the culture like? What are the kids like? So I think the big thing for us was trying to set a tone like we did at Medaille almost, where like the bare minimum is 2.5 hour practice. You're lifting in the morning, like that's the best. Like we try to encourage getting extra work in. So I think it was like trying to get the right people on the bus and the wrong people off. And I'll be honest, man, I walked into a roster with 25 kids. 25 kids. I walked into that. And I swear to God, in the first 10 days, this is even before we started practice, I had 7 kids come in and quit before we even started. Like, I was like, what's going on here?
They heard 6 a.m. lift 4 days a week, and
yeah,
it's not for everybody.
I mean, I guess, but so I think it was like trying to make it demanding and then see who really wants to turn this thing around, because it was going to be harder than it was at Medaille, just in terms of the financial like packages here. Like you got to uphill that burden, but also the area we're in is really rich with basketball, and there's so many other good leagues around. So you're trying to find the niche. So I think for us, there's like, anyone, like I knew we weren't going to be very good the first year. I didn't think we'd win 4 games. And that was tough, but I also think it was about like making sure the guys who have been here already, they went through a bunch of shit beforehand. Making sure that they had fun. Like I think trying to make sure they enjoyed coming to the gym and truly trying to change just like the environment, I guess, that people were in. And you'll laugh. Like I remember Quan when he came back here, even Mac to some degree. Mac would probably disagree, but Quan was like, Coach, you gotten softer, like no bricks, no, like I don't make them run as much. Like I don't know. Like, so kind of just changing it right off the rip is just like, see who's really about this and who wants to be a part of the change. And that's really what we did. The first year was like, all right, let's get the right kids on, the wrong kids off. And then we have to recruit really talented kids that are gym rats. And we did that in year 1.
So, one of the things that I was going to ask you was just piggybacking off of what you just talked about is how has your coaching philosophy changed in terms of, so you're at Medaille, you win a championship, you have all region level players, not just all conference level players. You have players that will go on to win national championships, and obviously it's a program of winning culture and winning history. Obviously you were coached by Coach McDonald, who's now at St. Bonaventure, which is, we're going to get into in a minute, and that's ridiculous. But so it's a lot different. So the demand that you can, I guess, ask for from players and from the organization is a lot higher than necessarily coming into a program with single digit wins. And you kind of have to change your perspective and like your demand on, because it's hard to demand a team that goes 2-23 to now be 500 and make the playoffs. And so I remember obviously Buff State, we lose a bad game to Buff State, and you like threw the thing, and obviously it's an expression of frustration. We want to win so badly, and we like that's the standard. The standard is winning in a winning culture. And so how is your kind of philosophy as a coach, I guess, change in the things that you prioritize? And like you said, like you're prioritizing guys having fun as like turning a program around. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think it's way different. I don't know if I was the best basketball coach when I was with you guys in terms of explaining things thoroughly and how we went about the process of doing things. And I think I've gotten older and matured and have done it longer, I've spent a lot more time just teaching the game is expecting people to know the game. I think the biggest thing out there is coaches generally get frustrated when they're like, man, my kids just don't know the game. They don't know what they're doing. Like, but then I'm looking back on, I'm like, how much time do we actually spend teaching games? So like we've dumbed down practice a bunch, doing a lot of small sided games, doing 3-on-3s and really making reads. And I thought this year was probably one of the more challenging but enjoyable years because we did something, we kind of tweaked everything offensively to fit our personnel. And it was a lot of teaching, and I had to be comfortable doing it. And I don't know, you guys don't know this yet. Well, you know, but like my daughter,
We want to talk about that's probably been a humongous segment in this podcast in a little bit.
She's kind of brought a lot more patience to me, I think, as well too, because I think when you become a parent, you realize that you're a little more empathetic, right? Like she spills her milk, it's not the end of the world. She might cry, but like you're like it's all good. And it's the same thing with our kids here. Like they might have bad days. So I think just being more aware and changing the philosophy of like, yeah, we're not a winning program yet. We're striving to be a winning program. And habits have to change first for us to get there. And that's why I keep reminding them. Everyone wants to like the snap of the fingers. We're going to win 15, 18 games. Like, no, winning's really hard. It's what I told you guys your freshman year. Like,
Winning is really fucking hard.
You have to enjoy it, and you have to celebrate the wins too. So I think, like my second year when we won 10 games, I'm like, this is good. Like we're on the right pace. And this year too, I was like, yeah, we won 9. I probably thought before the year we'd have 13, 14 wins, somewhere around there. And then this is the year I'd expect us to kind of take off. So philosophy's changed a little bit in terms of like, I think I'm a bit more patient. I'm a bit better teaching the game. I'm a bit more empathetic. I've tried to have a lot of fun with it still. Like I still bust balls with our guys because they're a good group. And like, they're starting to get back to the group we had at Medaille in terms of like the character kids, which is great. So, it's been fun, but things change, man. Like you change every year to year.
Yeah. So with that being said, how do you now define success that's, I guess, a little bit separate from wins and losses or box score, stat sheet type of things?
Yeah, I think it's really does your team meet its full potential? Whatever that might be. So year one, we win 4 games. Maybe we win 1 or 2 more, but I think we milked everything out of that team and we got what we could out of them. And it's really seeing the progression over the course of the season, right? Like they're gonna have wins and losses, and even like in recruiting, I'll tell people this now is like you won't remember in 10, 12, 14 years from now any result that you played in, but you're gonna remember the moments in the locker room, the goofing around, maybe hopping on a podcast with some of your guys, right? You're going to remember all those moments. So you want to create this environment that's really kind of conducive. So for us, success now is about like, does your team max out? Do they reach their full potential? And it's hard, man, because you still look at the scoreboard and see a win or a loss.
For sure.
But I think it's like, and especially when you're changing something around, it takes a little bit more time than you'd like. So I think it's more about like, does your team reach its full potential and whatever that may be? Maybe it's 10 wins, maybe it's 15, maybe it's 20, maybe it's a championship. But for us, it's like keep taking the next step along the journey that's going to get us to where we need to go.
Do you think the fact that you're now a parent has changed your perspective on how important basketball is to you? Because I know talking to like his father or other parents, like after you have a kid, your sort of self-interest in the things that you do in life becomes significantly less important, like work and all those things, because your kid becomes the only focus of your life at that point. Do you think that's happened with you in basketball?
Yeah, to some degree. Like before, it was just basketball all the time, no matter what. Now there's bigger things in life, man. Like there's a lot of big, more important things, and it is hard, especially during season, because you're so consumed with film, scouting reports, players, their problems going on that it does tear at you when you're away from home. But man, Leanne's done a great job in terms of like FaceTiming with Cameron when I'm on the road and vice versa, and it's helped. And you know what? To be quite honest, like we might get our ass kicked one night by like Moravian in a game, and I come back to the house and my daughter's smiling, gives me a hug, or she's at the game and she's like clapping, saying "Daddy's team, Daddy's team," like while the gym's dead quiet. Like it puts a lot more things in perspective, man. Like I'm coaching a game. Like, do we want to win? Yes, but like the reality is, she's the most important thing in my life right now, right? Her and my wife, like they're the most important things. And if they're good, we're good. So it definitely helps, and it kind of it takes some of the burden off the losses. I'll tell you that much.
100%. It adds like another pillar of happiness that you can draw from. And at the end of the day, like you said, Cameron doesn't know whether you win by 100 or lose by 100. She's like, her dad's still coming home at the end of the day to give her a hug and play trains or whatever you guys do. And that's kind of.
You're laughing because I've already bought her a basketball hoop, and I also have one for our bathtub.
That's
that
awesome.
she'll use.
I wish
the
I had
first
one of
thing she did was she dove on the floor for a ball, so I'd be like, dive, and she'll like go head first on the floor for the ball. But she's starting to get it, man. Like you'll laugh at this too. She'll be watching like I don't know, say Duke's playing North Carolina on TV, and she'll go up to the TV and she'll be like, "Daddy's team." I was like, "That ain't Daddy's team." 'Cause we wouldn't be living in our townhome. Like we'd be living in a mansion somewhere. So.
Her first birds are like back cut. Back cut.
But she comes to practice, man. She knows she loves Rory. She'd say Rory's name. Rory.
That makes so much
sense.
sense. Rory definitely
the most universally loved human being I've ever met, probably.
Never has a problem with nobody. He just some people, but not us.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
I also want to know, like, what was going through your head immediately after Medaille closed, and how you ended up even coaching at FDU in the first place? Because I know, like, when it happened to us, it was like immediately like, holy shit, we're going to reach out to schools, figure out financial aid. Like, am I still going to play basketball? Where's the podcast? Like, all these things are going on. What was going through your head right after that closed?
I was shocked. I was disappointed, upset, angry. Like there's no processing. I already had, like, Max was leaving stuff in my house.
Literally.
Right? Like, Oscar left stuff. Quan, like, a lot of people left stuff in my house. But I think the initial thing was trying to make sure you guys were okay and I could do anything I could to help you guys get to where you need to get to. And then I remember Leanne kind of looked at me and she's like, "So, like, what do you want to do?" Because, you're at a crossroads. Like, you want to keep coaching, you might have to move again, right? And, like, moving stinks. You do it enough, like, it gets old. And I remember she basically told me, she's like, I want you to keep coaching because it's something that you love and clearly you enjoy doing it. And even, you get on your kids, but they still clearly like you because they come back and they talk to you and all these things. So I'm like, yeah, like I do want to keep doing this. So then I applied for, I guess I interviewed at 4 different schools. One was a Division I JUCO down in Florida, Indian River State College. That would have been an assistant job, which I didn't want to go back to being an assistant after doing that for so long. And the other one was at a school called University of Texas at Dallas. That was a D3 school down there. I wouldn't have turned that down. I was kind of a finalist for that, but it paid way too much money. And then Bard College in New York, which is about 45 minutes from where I grew up. I just don't think I would have been a fit there from like a student perspective or a culture perspective. It's just not. It doesn't align with me, right? And then I interviewed here the day after, and I remember leaving the interview. I'm like, I don't understand why this place hasn't been particularly good because we're in a great location, good academics. We're 20 minutes from Newark Airport, which is one of the bigger airports in the United States. Great basketball within a 4-hour radius. I'm like, it can be done here. It's just going to take a little bit of grease and kind of legwork to get it done. So I left the interview process and I'm driving back up to Buffalo, and the AD called me probably an hour into my drive and offered me the job. And that's kind of when it happened, is because she offered me the job. I get back to Buffalo. Leanne and I talk about it for 48 hours. We decide we're doing it. And then the next day we found out Leanne was pregnant with Cameron. And I was like, okay, so now we went from not having a job to moving to having a kid, trying to sell our home, buy a home. Like, life comes at you quick.
That's a hell of a 48 hours.
Yeah, dude. And how about this? Not even 40 hours. So we, I guess I came down here in like mid-August. Leanne was still in Buffalo because we were trying to finish up selling our home, and there was a lot we had to do. And I was actually living on campus for the first 5-6 weeks in a dorm for like misplaced faculty. And I would be on campus from Sunday to Thursday, and then Friday I'd kind of leave midway through and drive back up to Buffalo and pack the house up until we settled down here. But we just couldn't afford anything around campus. That's how we ended up in Pennsylvania.
I'm going to pull a very deep memory, but I feel like when we had you on the podcast last, you told a story about how you lived in a college dorm at some point in your coaching career, and you like heard some crazy shit and people partying and stuff. Do you remember that story? We might have to go in the archives and pull up. You know what I'm talking about?
Not a clue.
Yeah, no.
Like you saw like a girl walking out of a room doing like a walk of shame, and he was like on some coach. It was some similar situation.
That's when I was a player, man. That's when I was
a player.
That was the hotel when they were running sprints down in the beach.
Yeah. That's when I was a player.
Maybe that's what it reminded me.
That was back in the like 2006 days.
I thought that it was when it was a coaching thing. Maybe we'll have to. We'll pull up the old clips and old clips.
Find out who's lying and who's not.
What's on that sheet? Because I have a couple things off the dome. I want to just.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So, like, you came in and you're trying to fix the culture. That's the first thing you're trying to do. What's the biggest problem right now that you're facing with FDU that's preventing you from going above 500 or being a championship program?
Yeah, like, what's the next step?
I think the challenges are still probably more in the financial aspect. I think as a school in whole, we're trying to limit the amount of merit money we're giving out just because higher education's facing an uphill battle. So I think financial aid packages might not be where I would like them to be. But the biggest thing for us mostly is just about health. Like, can we stay healthy? I firmly believe last year we would have been a top 3-4 team in the league. I actually I might put in my resignation letter next year if we're not a top 3 team in the league next year, because I firmly believe that the guys we have coming back. And the reality is a lot of the guys we played this year were all sophomores. So now we're kind of going to get to reap the benefits of having a junior, senior class that's going to play a bunch. And that really hasn't happened in my time here yet. So I think that's prevented us a little bit, just kind of going through the growing pains of learning how to win and being in different games. And like, we've had good wins here, man. Like this year, we beat Arcadia, who won our league. They were a terrific team. Like, we went down to their place at the end of the week. We had nothing to play for. We went down there and beat them, led the whole game from start to finish. Like, we have the potential. I think it's a consistency aspect. And you guys know, like, Chris, you know how it is from firsthand, man. Like, you struggled your freshman year just with kind of the intensity level of, like, me coaching, or if I'm getting on you, yelling at you. And I think there's ways even here where I might get on kids the wrong way in terms of maybe it's not yelling, maybe it's kind of learning how to coach them differently and feed them more confidence. And I think for us, we always battle that, like, am I good enough? Like, I put in the work, why aren't I getting results? Like, I think that's a big hurdle for us to get over, but it comes with time. And as long as our guys are working really hard, we'll be fine. So I honestly think we'll take the step we need to this year. I just think it takes 3+ years to really build a program from scratch. When you're kind of overhauling, because even some of the players that were here beforehand weren't guys that maybe necessarily I wanted, right? But you're trying to make the best do because they have a college career too, and I want them to win as many games as possible. It's just it takes time, man. Like, you got to get kids in. And now my first recruiting class is going to be juniors this year, so that's like kind of the tell is like, are we going to be better this year? Because if we are, great. If not, then I'm clearly not doing a good job.
Yeah, it sounds like so. Our freshman year sounds like what you'd be going into next year. You had some leaders like Mac and Rory and some older guys, Quan, who unfortunately wasn't healthy towards the tail end of his college career, but great player, and be able to, like, build that, I guess, culture and instill those values in his teammates. And then once they graduate, now you have, like, when it was us, it was Quan, it was Rory, it was Tay, it was Oscar going from juniors to seniors, or going from sophomores to juniors. And then I think, like, that allowed us to, and we definitely dealt with our challenges when we were freshmen at our last year at Medaille, and obviously with health stuff as well and rotation stuff. But I mean, we made playoffs in a tough league, and I mean, the Empire rate was very tough. Now I don't know how the strength. I haven't been keeping up much of the strength of that conference, but when we were there, Navs was ranked top 25, Utica was ranked top 25, St. John Fisher was winning, and we made a name for ourselves in that conference year one and made the playoffs. And so it sounds like it's definitely a similar history repeats itself type of thing. So God willing, you guys would be in a great spot next year. I'm definitely going to be tapped in. I was tapped into a lot of the games. I watched when Mac hit the game winner versus
St. Elizabeth.
Yeah, on the stream. I watched a bunch of your guys' games whenever I could. And I mean, look awesome. At you guys. Look like you guys were having fun. And a lot of times I was like, damn, like, what could have been if I was over there? And I'm don't
What could
regret
have been if Medaille never closed down?
Yeah. So that's another thing too, is like you go and you look back at like because freshman class of Medaille, so your last ever Medaille recruiting class is now done playing basketball.
Yeah.
You look at the guys there. Tay, 1,000-point scorer, and scored 500 points plus starting in a Division II program. You got Mac, obviously, who was a hell of a player. Like, but he basically is like he's like a 10, 8, and 6 type of guy. Very unique type of play style. You can't really call him a Draymond because he's a point guard, but
he might kill you.
But I don't really know another guard that's going to get you like a triple double. On some games he could have 30, some games he could have like a 10-10-10 type of thing. But he's a very
he calls
special
himself
player.
mini Tyrese Halliburton, but I just don't know.
I don't think I could see it. Max a baller. Then you have like Oscar, who's playing professionally now, and seems like he's killing it. Obviously, Rory was with you. Quan, amazing player, unfortunately, was riddled by injury as well. And you have, I mean, there was one time where like me, Mac, and Zymir were all talking in a group chat of like Zymir just had like a big game. Maybe it was like 15-10, and it's like, I mean, Hardwick had probably the most wins this year than they've had in a long time.
Yeah.
So did we, and I had a hell of a week early on in the season. I basically cashed in all my chips in like the first week of the season, and I won like our school athlete of the week or whatever the individual award was, and I shot the ball real well. And the same week that Mac hit that game winner, and it's like, look, like it's crazy that like this class. Obviously now you're all at FDU Florham, and I mean Coach Long just accepted a D2 head coaching job. It's pretty crazy. Like that group of people from Medaille like really made that place special. And I mean, there's a lot of good, really, really good quality people.
It was actually really cool, kind of just keeping up with everybody throughout, following your career, but also Oscar's, Dante, and ironically enough, I was with Coach Long and Dante Wilcott out in the Final Four. Shit, I ran into Cedric.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Four of us, we all shared a beer together. Now
that's
that we
awesome.
all finally could. But it is cool to see everyone having success and kind of finish their careers up well, and that was a cool part here, man. Like obviously, I wish it was with all you guys, but at least kind of having the four of those dudes with me was real special. And like, I wouldn't. It made it a lot easier than I thought it would be coming down here. That's for damn sure.
For sure. What do you like to do over there? That's other than basketball. Obviously, I mean, hanging out with Cameron is a completely different like aspect of your life that you weren't exposed to when we were with you. But I mean, what's there over to do in obviously Philadelphia or New Jersey area? I'm sure it's a little bit more or a little bit more, I guess, upper scale than Buffalo, and just a different type of place.
Well, I'm also our men's golf coach.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm sure there's very nice golf courses over there.
It's insane, dude. Like we belong to a place, Mendham Country Club, which I was playing with our guys yesterday. It's incredible. So honestly, man, I don't spend too much time around campus just because I live so far away and I live in Pennsylvania. But a lot of my times, same shit I was doing up in Buffalo, man. Like I play golf during the weekdays, weekends, weeknights. Like it's about family time, hang out with Cameron, do different things. And now she's to the age where she's a little over 2. Like it's more fun because she's moving around consistently. She's talking, she's yapping. Like I don't understand. It's like basically talking to some of our guys at Medaille where you just don't understand what the hell they're saying, right? But like, it's fun. I'm the same person, man. I just hang with the fam, and we do different things on the weekends, and then it's just basketball and golf now while we're here.
I imagine that's a pretty special thing to be able to like see your kid, I guess, transition from, I guess, like infant to like toddler, where now they gain consciousness and like they're kind of like not that they're not a real person before, but now they have thoughts and they can like express them a little bit and communicate.
Dude, it's the coolest person.
I imagine that's a really, really cool aspect of being a parent.
It's actually it's the coolest part, man. Like I remember when she was just born, and the first 3 months there isn't much going on besides no sleep, crying, and stuff like that. But as she got to like month 4, 5, 6, like the recognition of knowing like who you are, and the first time she said "dada" or "mama," you're like, this is pretty cool. And then all of a sudden is like she starts putting 2 to 2 together of like, this is your job. You coach basketball, or like she knows what kind of color car I drive and things like that. And then she's gonna start to walk and now run, and she comes to the game. She has her own little FDU jersey, and she's like,
that's amazing.
And what's really cool too is the guys on my team. They're really good with her, and when she comes around, it's like, oh, Cameron, and she'll like give everybody a high five and things like that. So like, it's cool, man. It's very special.
It's awesome.
That's what I think's also made it pretty easy too, is knowing that there's always a bigger purpose in life, and that's mine.
I'm gonna take a little bit of a back seat here because I think you guys got to have. I was gonna say I think you guys have some golf business. Christopher Alfred Beeman is now a collegiate athlete for the second time in a different sport.
Yes,
I'm on the golf team. I'm horrific, terrible, awful, dog shit. But we out here trying. I'm trying for sure. What kind of tournaments do you guys play in? Like,
what's that?
It's like, what kind of tournaments are you guys competing in? Because like around here, when it comes to Elms golf, like we're really small budget. Like we're playing in maybe 3 tournaments a year and probably getting dead last. So like, are you guys good? Are they big scale tournaments? Like,
they're fairly big. So like we played. The football, our offensive coordinator for football, he was fired or let go, I should say, in December, and that's when my AD came, and she's like, "Would you want to coach the golf team?" And she's like, "It'll come with a pretty decent stipend." So I was like, "Yeah, I love golf, more money, like perfect." And so we've done 5 events so far. We're doing I actually leave tomorrow with them. We're going to Long Island
That's
for a
awesome.
golf tournament. It's a 2-day tournament out there with like I think 6 or 7 different teams, and then Monday we have a golf tournament, and then it's our conference championships the following weekend. So we'll do 7, 8 events in basically like a month. But like we have some kids that are pretty good. We have a lot of young kids too, but like we're not dead last in these things. Like we're coming in about middle of the pack. I have 1 or 2 kids that are talented enough to go shoot by 74, 75, like
Damn.
pretty frequently.
That's amazing.
And it was fun playing with them yesterday, dude, because it's the first time they see me play, and it was the first time I've really played with them. So I was just kind of talking shit to them. So it wasn't like a normal like golf outing experience for them where everyone's quiet. Like I can't do that. So yeah, no, it's cool, man. And the courses down here are beautiful. Like
Yeah, I can imagine.
prime time country clubs we're playing at, and the one we played on Monday was called Basking Ridge. I think the initiation fee is about 50,000 just to join the club, and like our
Jeez.
kids are playing there for basically nothing. Like it's pretty sweet.
It's a pretty cool experience.
Yeah.
Is Mac on the golf team? I know he used to.
I'm
play.
done. I'm done coaching him. I don't know if he wants me to coach him anymore. No, Mac's the best, man, because like I probably never coached somebody harder than him. But he's still the same kid, and like our relationship now is more like big brother, little brother. Like now, you know what we do is like we play racquetball against each other. Like that's our new outlet.
That's
I
awesome.
smoked him. I don't think
I
he
can
scored more than
imagine.
3 points in game to 21. So you have to bring it up to him. But like I
You
love
play
that
pickleball at all?
No, that's not in the cards yet. No.
On the cards, yeah. You said you're too mobile to play a
it's
sport for
post-retirement.
yeah.
Yeah, like I still got to move around, man. I need the exercise, so I'll do anything to keep moving. Especially because you put on that dad weight when you first start having the kid, because you don't move for months. Like you're just trying to survive.
Coaching golf has got to be wildly different than coaching basketball because it goes from like pushing somebody to just trying to keep them calm and not slice the ball 40 fairways over and like just try to keep it in play and read the putts. That's got to be a crazy contrast.
Dude, it's so relaxing. There's no film, there's no scouting reports. You're not cussing somebody out or trying to motivate them. And you're 100% right, Chris. It's I walk, so I don't know what your coach does or how they do it, but like I'll go walk with our guys for like 3, 4 holes and then kind of bounce around to each different person. And a lot of it's just being like, no, dude, like you can hit the shot. You're okay. Like it's a good miss. You missed over there. It's a spot you want to miss at. Okay, you pulled it 30 yards left. Okay, it's because your front shoulder slipped out. But you're right. It's way more just like mental than anything else. You're just trying to keep them upbeat and positive because I'm going to be honest, golf's a way harder game than basketball in terms of a mental aspect. You got basketball, you got 4 other dudes that can go bail you out.
Yeah.
You stink in golf. Like, it just gets worse. So, like, man, these kids are good kids, man, because it's a hard game. It's really hard.
Yeah, it's been a struggle going from basketball where it's just like constant action, and then with golf you have like 5 hours of. That's the hardest thing for me is trying to stay locked in for 18 holes, like for 4 to 5 hours, just being locked in the same task and not mess things up and not lose focus and mess up your fundamentals. Like that's been the hardest shift for me for sure.
Well, the mental grind's incredible. Me and a couple of my players were talking about it yesterday. I was like, golf's the walk's not bad. Like I don't mind walking the 18, but the mental grind of like every shot or different shot you have, and like you have to get like it wears you down. Like I remember sat down yesterday after I'm playing, I was like, whew, I forgot this feeling. Like it's been a minute, but I completely agree, man. This shit wears you down, but it also gives you more appreciation for like the pros, right?
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
they're so damn good. Being locked in for a 4-day tournament. Like we were talking about being locked in just for one day. Like they're locked in for 4 days. Like they're incredible.
We got about 1:30 left, so I think it's a good time. We're gonna give you a little halftime. We're gonna save this, send you a link in about 2 to 3 minutes, and then we'll pick back up. Do you have a time frame that you have anything to do? I think
3:45. I'll be out of here by. So we got another hour.
Oh, awesome. Okay, we'll send you in a few minutes.
You hear me?
Yeah, awesome. Apologies about that. You know, we're still
broke. Yeah, paralleling on the golf, I kind of want to use this as an opportunity to selfishly ask about my own golf game because I'm slicing the piss out of it right now, and I can't seem to fix it. So as a golf coach, what would you prescribe somebody who is sending the ball so far left that it doesn't even have a chance of staying in play?
To be fair, I watched they have like a golf sim at the bar up the street. And so the golf coach also works as like a bartender. So they use the sim there. And so I went to go hang out at the bar while they were practicing. And I actively saw Chris send the ball in the simulation through someone's window. Like it went into their living room.
It's been a problem. I had it figured out, which is the most annoying thing. One of the other annoying things about golf is like you think you have it figured out, and then a week later, all of your swing fields are gone, and you're back to swinging like an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, there's never the days everything works is when you score well, but there's never going to be. It's never like some days the short game's going to be there, some days the iron game's going to be there, and some days the off the tee game. If you're not good off the tee, you're screwed because then you're putting yourself in good position. But reality is, like, if you want to score consistently well, like, be good around the green, about 50 yards and in, right? But if you're slicing it consistently, you're just swinging across your body. So the balls, you're coming across instead of swinging out. You need to be swinging out because that's not going to allow the ball to go like a boomerang on a slice. Like
it starts left and it goes more left.
Well, that's actually how that was my biggest issue. Is like I would bring the club up and I would swing across the ball this way, and the thing would just go, boom, and I'm like, that's not good. So now I shifted my hand placement, and I bring my hands back, and I'm swinging out. And as I'm doing that, the only thing I'll be able to really do is probably hit more of like a fade into the fucking green, which is way easier. So it's just going to the range and figuring it out, to be honest. But like a lot of the times you're slicing it and the ball is doing a boomerang because you're swinging across your body this way, and it's creating this effect for the ball goes all over the place.
Yeah, it's been a struggle lately. I've been playing for, I think this is technically like my first real year. Like you dabble the first year and you kind of mess around on the green stuff, but like actually trying, this is my first year. And I saw a TikTok the other day where they're talking about the gap between guys who are like shooting 115 to like 94. Like that spot is the worst spot to be in golf because if you're shooting over 120, you're just there to get drunk and have a good time and mess around. And if it's under 94, it's like you're good enough to hit good shots and like maybe do a little bit of shot shaping and play pretty well. But like in between that, you care enough about the game to where if you shoot poorly, you get mad, but you're not good enough to like really enjoy the aspects of the sport and like hitting good shots and just it's the most annoying spot to be. That's exactly where I'm at.
You just gotta keep grinding, dude. Like I'm probably consistently like a 10, 11 handicap where I'll shoot, 80, 81, 82, somewhere around there. And like, I was not there. I was like 94, 95, but like people on the team, like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. How much do you play? Like, play as much as you can. And the unfortunate part is golf's expensive. So like the cool part is doing it for school is like our kids can go over to the Mendham Country Club and play and practice as much as they want. So like, that's the advantage they have. But like, yeah, man, if I was you, I would just try to enjoy it right now. And then as you get better and you don't take it, like then you can start taking it more serious. Otherwise, it's going to be in a dark spot.
What are the differences? This is a little bit of a sidestep into a different type of conversation, but how is FDU Florham, I guess, affiliated with FDU? Like I know some of like the Penn State schools are like affiliated, but they're in different locations. Like how close are you guys to the main?
30 minutes. It's right down the road. Like we're all under one umbrella. Like there's nothing. There's no difference. Just they have Division I athletics. We have Division III athletics. I probably would say our campus in a whole is a little bit nicer. But we also have two other campuses. One's in Vancouver, and then one's in England.
Wow. Did you guys like send kids abroad or send kids to those schools like for a semester or like are they kind of like related like that?
So yeah, well, you can, but like obviously we overlap both semesters, so it's not like
basketball wise. Yeah,
basketball is not gonna. But we have some kid. We had a kid my first year, Brian Nichols. He went overseas in the summer to England and did like a course over there. It was like a 3-week course, awesome. But it was cool. He was over in Roxbury, England. So
yeah, I'm curious what it's like to be in an environment where a lot of like the student body isn't necessarily there for athletics. It seems like Fairleigh Dickinson Florham is a relatively sizable D3, and obviously like the main Fairleigh Dickinson's like right next door. Obviously Medaille, like almost everybody there was an athlete, and here at Elms, like a majority of people are athletes, and if not, they're in like our nursing program, which I mean you're not going to see any of those people anyways because they're in the lab all day. So what's that? I mean, is that assumption correct? Like there are quite a bit of people that go to Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah, so we have it's not crazy big, man. Like we have 2,300 students.
It's probably double over here.
And I would probably say 40% is involved in athletics in some sort. And obviously we have football, which is different than we didn't have that at Medaille. So there's 140 kids right off the rip.
Jesus.
But the dynamic's cool. We actually share a street. So this game, Mac hit the game winner, St. Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a fence that in their wood line next to us that separates our campuses. And then I don't know if you ever heard of Drew University.
They were phenomenal this year, right? They were
good last year, and the year before that, they were undefeated in conference.
They were in I think they were in the tournament this year.
Tournament, right? They're a mile down the road from us. So we have like 3 schools within a mile. So it is different, but it's similar too. The cool thing is a lot of our guys, like there's a train that runs through our campus. That stops maybe like 0.2 of a mile away, but it runs straight into New York City too. So like the guys will go in the city a bunch if they have internships, things like that. Like it is a little bit different in that regard.
I think one of the things, like when I reflect on my whole college experience, that I think what I would have benefited from is like being closer to a bigger city. And like, I mean, but we were about an hour and a half drive from Boston. So like we go, for example, last week I went to the Celtics game and hung around the city with a couple of my buddies, and then went to the Celtics game, and then drove back, and it's like an hour and a half drive. But I have some buddies who go to like Emerson College in downtown Boston, or go to Tufts, who are it's like a similar train ride right to downtown. I think that would definitely be a cool experience. So I just kind of wanted to know what it'd be like from just to be in that environment.
Yeah, I mean it's a smaller scale, obviously, like Buffalo. Buffalo is like pretty. I actually enjoyed Buffalo a lot. People would rag on it and shit on it, but like. There's always things to do in Buffalo. Like I like the smaller city. I think our guys have benefited both worlds because they kind of have the suburban living, but they can also get into city living pretty quickly and kind of bounce around, and especially from like job internship purposes. Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's one of the main things too. Is like the closer you are to a bigger city, and obviously, I mean, you guys are closest to the biggest city in the country, and so there's so many opportunities there to like for internships and jobs and stuff. So I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have survived that.
You're too close.
Not you, not you,
too much.
Chris. No. Chris, you'd be fine on our campus. We have tons of space. You'd be all right.
You guys have a decent gym over there for him?
Yeah, he can throw some weight around. He'd be happy.
Throw some weight around.
It's bigger than
weight around. Hit some slices. Avoid the houses.
Eat a lot.
Chris, you'd be back playing for me, but in a way different capacity.
Oh, it'd be great. It'd be fantastic. I would love that. If the ball went straight, that's all I would care about.
That's no doubt.
I have a fitness related question for you.
Yeah.
So I've recently, like since basketball's retired, gotten really big into calisthenic workouts.
I've seen your little Instagram post.
Have you seen the gloves?
No.
Can you have a talk with him about the gloves?
Dude, at that point, I'm putting my pride and
man up.
I manned up until I had a callus.
God gave you these puppies, okay?
I manned up until I had a callus ripped from the bottom of my finger to the middle of my palm, and then
you put chalk on your hands?
I put it. I mean, whenever we have chalk, but sometimes like the bull gets out and then they delay it, whatever. Anyways, honestly, putting my pride to the side for now, using some gloves. But have you ever heard of the Murph challenge?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've talked to a couple of people about it. Some have heard about it, some have not. But I said if anybody has heard about that, it would be you. Have you ever done one of those before?
Yeah, me and my friends back in the time, we do it Memorial Day?
Yeah.
We do the Murph, and I forgot exactly what the hell. I haven't done it in a year or two, but we do it once a year where it's like the push-ups, it's like 100 push-ups, squats, 300 squats, 200 push-ups, 100 pull-ups.
Yeah, so it's a mile run.
Mile
run, 100 pull-ups, 200 squats, 300 push-ups, mile run, wearing a 20-pound weighted vest.
In that order?
Yeah, mile. I mean,
so mile first to start, then all
then that stuff, and then mile at the end. Yeah. So, I mean, since I've gotten like pretty big into calisthenics, I'm gonna do that for Memorial Day. I'm gonna wear the 20-pound weighted vest and give it a go, and I'm gonna try and get it in under 75 minutes. So that would give me an hour for the bulk calisthenic stuff and a 7.5 minute mile on each side.
You'll get it under that.
So that's the goal. My dad's gonna do it with me too. He's gonna do a half one with no weighted vest he's 55. So he's starting to get back in shape for that. And yeah, I mean, my first How did you break it up? Did you do 100 pull-ups straight, then 100 push-ups, then squats, and break up into sets like that? Or
I just did it. I just did it straight. So if I was doing the pull-ups, it'd be like 10, 10, 10, 10. Or if you could do more than that.
Yeah.
Squats, you just banged out, and then push-ups. I don't know. I found push-ups easy because at the time I was in really good shape. So I was, you do 50 reps of 50, 6 reps, like you're good to go. Which is why if you don't train consistently, it's going to be really hard. But if you're training for it, it's not. It's just fun to do because we did it with a group.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, and 15 squats every 2 or 3 minutes for 20 sets, and just going back and forth, and that would give me 10. That would give me 100, 200, 300. So
hardest part was the pull-ups.
100% hardest part was the pull-ups. I actually have done
push-ups and squats are easy.
Yeah, push-ups and squats are easy. Doing push-ups after pull-ups, because they don't actually hit that different muscles. Like your shoulders and triceps and arms are all fried. I've been doing some like working my way up to like more higher volume endurance calisthenic stuff, but I've done like 5 push-ups, 10 push-ups every minute for 8 or 10 sets. And like after that, like my arms are fried after that. I've actually done 100 pull-ups, like 5 pull-ups every 2 minutes for 20 sets. So it was like 38 minutes for 100 pull-ups. And that was very, very like easy. That was not difficult at all. I think 2 minutes rest was generous. So I definitely think it's going to be possible. I'm very excited. It's honestly like my version of running a marathon, because there's no way after finishing a basketball career of being on the line for I'm going to get into running anytime. Some people do it, not me. So I think this is like my retirement marathon type of thing. But I wanted to ask you if you heard of that, because I feel if anyone would have heard of it, it's definitely would be you.
Yes, definitely heard the Murph.
What does your fitness schedule look like as of now with a kid and a full-time golf coach and basketball coach?
It used to be lift, play Joe Velan ones in the post, no dribble, then Zymir after, then.
No, it's changed a lot, man. Like it was bad for like the first. I don't know, when she was first born. There's no real routine. You're kind of all thrown off. It's not like the biggest thing I think you get from is like how selfish you were. Like you could just do things whenever you wanted to do it, and there's no things. But now it's like, man, I used to love lifting in the morning. You guys know, like I'd get up, go to our weight room and lift, and go to school and things like that. But now I wake up, I get Cameron ready in the morning for daycare, drop her off at 8, come back, walk George a mile and a half.
Shout out George, by the way, on the pod. Shout out George.
He's still ticking, man. He's doing great. And then drive the hour to campus, and then I'm here all day. So like now I'm lucky if I can get 3, 4. I try to do 4 days a week. Like nothing. Sometimes they're 30 minutes, sometimes it's 25, sometimes it's 45. Like you just don't know how long it's going to be. But there's just so many different demands. So like I actually was pretty poor with keeping up with my health, probably Cameron's first year, but then I've made it a conscious effort to get back into it. We're like, no matter what, and you guys know me, like I would stop what I'm doing in the middle of the day if a dude come in and ask me to work out. Okay, but that's taking away from my own time. But now it's like, I lost my best friend, as you guys know, the one that was coaching at St. Joe's, and he was 42, 43. One of my other close family members just passed away, and like health kind of kicks in as you get older, and you're like, there's bigger purpose, and I need to do a better job for myself and carving out time for Cameron, because like the job is stressful. There's a lot of demands, and especially like you said, coaching basketball, coaching golf, having a family. It's like where does your time get pulled to? And a lot of the times you're like, I'm just not going to work out. But now it's like, okay, let's make it about you and carve out 30 minutes, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be happier if I get a sweat in. Like I can tell you right now, my mood's directly affected if I don't get some kind of workout in. Now I'm not playing one-on-one as much like I did with you guys, probably because I was a little bit younger still back then. But now I'm be touching 38, so I ain't doing it. I ain't getting hurt.
Has Cameron showed any like signs of things that she would be interested in? I know you said basketball. She's diving on the floor and she's dunking in the bath and stuff. And obviously now that she's growing older, has she like what has she shown like interest in?
She's kind of all over, man. She's got like the attention span of like a fucking squirrel. Like she's bouncing all over side to side. Like there's so many different things. She'll be going sports to drawing to whatever. I honestly don't give a shit what she does. I just want her to be happy with what she's doing. And Just based off of myself and Leanne, like she's probably involved in some sort of athletics, and she's been growing up. She's grown up in a gym for her first 2 years of life. Like she just
That'll
that's
do
what
it.
she knows. On Saturdays, like I actually don't take the bus with the team because it makes no sense because most of our games are in Pennsylvania, so it makes no sense to go from Pennsylvania to Jersey, Jersey out to Pennsylvania back to Jersey to go back to my house. Like it doesn't make sense. So Saturdays are kind of nice because myself, Leanne, and Cameron will hop in the car and we just drive to the gym together, and it kind of is like our own family day, and like it's fun. So she'll sit down and watch a basketball game or a baseball game. Like she has no problems doing that. Like it's cool. So she'll decide as she gets older because she's still kind of her brain's formulating, right? Like she's trying to figure things out and what she likes, but she'll tell you if she doesn't like to do something. I'll tell you that much. God forbid, I moved her doll one time and off the couch. You would have thought I committed a crime. She's like, "Daddy, no, Daddy, no," and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." So, but yeah, she'll do whatever she wants. I don't care as long as she's a good person.
That's awesome.
This is gonna be a random side tangent, but I know a couple episodes we were talking with one of his teammates about when we would let our kids get a phone. And I'm just wondering if you've thought about that at all, or like at what point you feel like you're going to introduce her to technology, or maybe if it's already a part of her life
That's
now.
how you know we're good at this, dude.
So
That was gonna be my next question.
Technology is crazy, man. Like the kids now, they're growing up in the most advanced technological like environment possible, right? Like everything's so crazy. Like for a while, we let her like at night, she'll look at my phone and she'll scroll up my phone, scroll over to the YouTube app, find like the kid show and put it on, and she knows exactly when there's an ad, like where to press on the skip button, like on the screen, she'd skip. Like Leanne and I don't let her like she doesn't watch TV all the time. Like we already said we're not gonna be those parents. Like we're gonna parent her, but like I don't. She can watch TV. I don't give a shit. But there's got to be a limit. Like you need to be outside. Like as now she's older, like be outside, play around, like get dirty. I don't care. But like I bought her a tablet for when we go in the car. Like because at some point I don't want to lose my hearing because she's fucking screaming, right? Like, so like that's a different ball game. Like in the car, I think it's different. Like you want to watch the TV shows or whatever. I don't care. We don't care. But as she gets older, like she's not getting a phone until she needs it, right? Maybe as she starts, if she's involved in after school activities and things along those lines. But man, it scares me. Like I wouldn't lie if I being honest, like it scares the death out of me. Like where are we going to be in 10 years from now? Like what's technology going to be like? What apps are going to be out there? Like the world's a crazy place, and like that's where you kind of have to draw the line, I guess, as a parent.
Chris thinks his kid is not getting a phone until like 10th grade.
That's when I got one, and his argument was
That's when I got mine, Chris.
yeah, and like I don't think it's a horrible argument, but like he said that if you don't let them adapt to it early on in their life, it's going to become such a crucial part of being a human being at that point that they're going to fall behind and miss out on opportunities because they're not accustomed to using technology.
The main thing is like your kid, let's just say, is 12 or 13 or 14 or however old, then you get a phone, and now you're coordinating plans with your buddies, and is one of Minnie Beeman's buddies going to text Chris, hey, can Minnie Beeman hang out with us today? Or I just think like also it's a safety thing. Like you say, it scares the death out of you, and super valid. I mean, the world's a scary place, but also having a way to communicate with your kid when they're going and doing their own thing or whatever is a benefit, I guess, of technology, because it like increases the communication and safety in that aspect as well. So it's a what we call a seesaw, a balancing type of.
I think it's a fine line, man. Like I also think today, now more than ever, you guys could probably verify that. Not maybe you two because you guys are a little bit different, but and I mean that in a good way. But the way people communicate now is horrible. Like you walk into a room, like I don't joke, like people struggle having social interactions, and that's a large part of technology because everyone's just sitting there like scrolling and texting and things like that. And I'll bust Max balls all the time because he texts me in like code. Like I don't know what the abbreviations are, and I'm just like, Leah and I talk about it all the time. It's like we want her to be able to socialize with anybody, which is why I love that the daycare she's in right now, because it's one, there's a mix of different races, so she's learning different ethnicities and things along those lines. But two, she's learning how to share, she's learning how to interact. So like if she wants to come home and watch a show for 15, like I don't give a shit. But the phone aspect is like, look, technology is part of life. It's going to be a part of life. She'll get into school and deal with it. But the phone, I just think there needs to be restrictions. And like, you can have restrictions on those things. It's just how you want to parent. Everyone's different on how they want to parent their kid. And I would never tell you how to parent your kid because everyone's different, right? Like you have your own beliefs. You want to do things a certain way. Fine. I'm not going to judge you because I might not be doing it right either. There's no hand guide. Like there's no book on the shit. You just do it.
Yeah, I will say being around even kids who are freshmen now, or like seeing the groups of athletic teams at the lunch table, and it's just like 6 guys have their meal in front of them, and it's just this. Like everything, not talking, they're just sitting there all scrolling on the same app, just doing absolutely nothing productive for society. Like it's just
wild,
brain rotting.
Yeah. Or you say like someone messages something to the team chat, and we're all eating dinner together after practice, and now everyone's messaging each other in the chat. Sitting at the same table after practice. Yeah,
this is the bottom of society. I don't want to see my kid become a part of this.
I imagine though that like raising a child in an area in the New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania type of would be really beneficial because she's, like you said, is meeting a lot of different people, a lot of different places, learning how to communicate with, and obviously at very early stages of that, but learning how to communicate with people who are, like you said, different from her, but also different backgrounds and from different places. And I think that's a really important thing of development that would be
for sure
being in that like part of the world where it's like a lot of people would definitely benefit from that.
For sure.
See, the whole safety thing too, when you go with the communication.
Yeah, but Chris like probably almost died
the house for 8 hours, and I didn't have a phone. My best friend didn't have a phone. Like, none of us had phones, and yet somehow we're all still alive.
But you were raised by like like an outdoor cat. You know what an outdoor cat is? You have a cat where it just comes into the garage, eats some food, and just goes on its way. And you know it's not dead because it comes back 4 days later. And
it's
never died.
Yeah,
they never died.
That's you, bro. But that's not like, how many people grew up in your town?
300.
Yeah, so 300 people. That's like what? Maybe so he said it's about 30th of the amount of people that are in FDU Florham's campus, and there's one college campus.
Yeah,
and that's in a whole damn town. There's not many places in the world where you can grow up in a 300-person town where your mom and dad communicate.
Poland.
If there is one that would find it, it would be you, though.
Yes.
What else you got?
I'm trying to think of more parenting-related questions about him. Obviously, you want to see your daughter go into some kind of athletics, but if it wasn't going to be basketball, what other sport would you be excited to see her get into?
Golf.
100%.
Golf I can play with. I'd have an excuse to get out of the house and go play on the weekends. No, honestly, if it's not basketball, I don't care, man. Like soccer's cool because I played soccer growing up. Golf, softball because my wife played it. Like I think, and it's a fast-paced game. Like that would be really cool. Just as long as it's not, and no offense to these sports, but like swimming because the days are so long.
Where that was going.
The days are so long, but like, I don't know. As she can do whatever the hell she wants. Volleyball, like that'd be a cool sport too. Like anything where the action's kind of going back and forth. But if it's not basketball, like I'm not going to force her into basketball. She can do whatever she wants, but she will be doing something so she's not a brain rotting kid like after school.
When we talk about this, we kind of come to the consensus. This would be more of a. I don't know if this is a topic of conversation in a lot of friend groups, but I guess with me and Chris and like a couple of our buddies, like this is a reoccurring topic of like, what do you want your kids to do, or how would you react if your kid did this and whatever. And I think the consensus is that it doesn't necessarily matter exactly. Obviously, I want my kid to play basketball, but if they want to be a drummer, they want to play the drums or they want to play guitar. I would think it's unbelievable if I had a musically inclined kid because I'm so musically talented. But no matter what it is, like the value that you get from like spending time doing something for like an hour and a half every day after school and like compounding and getting better at something and building skill is so transferable to like so many different things that actually matter when you have to have a job and make money and commit to something and be able to do something when things are tough. I think that's the main thing from my perspective when we had that conversation. And I think honestly, like me playing basketball, I didn't have the most illustrious individual success career, but I definitely think that I've got so many benefits out of playing the sport that are transferable to so many different other outlets of life.
Yeah, I just think the big thing is like you can't. We won't shelter her from failure either, too, right? Like I think the big thing is learning failure and how to respond from failure. I think too many times people just try to run away and then not make it through. And failure piece is huge. And like you just touched on the lessons you learned throughout your basketball career, that's going to carry more with you throughout life than anything else. I can still relate lessons from like Coach McDonald back in the day that, taught me and it's helped me throughout my life. Like that's more important than anything else.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you, if I had to choose between my kid being good at golf or being good at basketball, I'm taking golf. I would love to have a kid that is unbelievable at golf because it would be so fun. Because I know it's gonna come to a point where he's gonna be way better than me, and at that point, I'm just riding.
The thing with golf too is also golf is a niche enough sport that if you like start early enough and you work on like building skill early enough, like you can get
way ahead.
Way ahead.
You better have a job that can pay for a country club, though.
That too.
That is true.
That too. I want to talk a little bit more about the Coach McDonald saying Bonaventure. That's pretty crazy. What was your reaction when you saw that? I mean, I'm sure maybe you have found out a little bit more than when we got the Woj bomb. But what was your your reaction to that?
I mean, I kind of heard through the grapevines that it was happening for a while, and like I remember a couple of years ago, I was working his camp and we were talking about different things, and like you can kind of tell he had an itch to get back to the Division I level, not because he wasn't happy, it's because it's the only level he didn't build like a national power at, right? Like he came into Medaille, he turned one of the worst programs in the country into a nationally ranked program, tons of success. He goes to Damon, he kind of puts them in the transition from NAI to actually NCAA Division II, and his last 2 years there, they were 61-3, which is absurd. And I think, like, he deserves the opportunity to try it at St. Bonaventure in the Atlantic 10. And, like, I couldn't be happier for him, to be honest. Like, I was fired up. Like, I think it's really cool. And his one son will be on staff with him down there. So, like, awesome. It's going to be a family affair.
We played against that one son when he was at Damon, correct? Is that correct?
Yeah, Nick, yep.
I think something that's like unique with coaching that you can't necessarily say with like playing, because obviously like you can be a good player at the Division III level and not be good at Division II level. You can be good at Division II level and not be good at Division I level. Or there are guys who transfer from Division I to Division III and don't do shit. Right? So it's very dependent on stuff. But as a coach, and I think we've seen a lot of stuff with like the coach from Northwestern Missouri State that went to Drake to Iowa. Like the things that make a coach great are very transferable. And they're the reasons why, like, a Coach McDonald can turn around in Medaille, then transition Damon, and now go to St. Bonaventure, are the same reason why you can take Medaille to NCAA tournament and then increase a program 5x wins in 2 years. It's the things that are coaching that are super. And obviously, this guy from Northwestern Missouri State is like an amazing coach, and he was an amazing coach at D2, and I'm sure that Iowa's going to have a lot of success. I mean, it's pretty crazy, like the story of that. And they have all D2 players, pretty much, or transfer portal guys. So I think that's kind of interesting now that you were talking about that, of like the things that make a good coach are very, very transferable. And like being able to win and put out a competitive team consistently is transferable across all divisions and all talent levels. Like a good coach can take a group of not good guys in a not good league and make them good, the same way they can take a good group of good guys in a good league and also make them good.
Sure.
So that's an interesting thing that when you were talking about that I was like kind of putting together.
Did you watch the Masters?
We were actually my wife and I went up to Buffalo, ironically enough, to see one of our friends from college. She just had a baby, and we were driving back on so I watched it Friday, Saturday, and then we're driving back Sunday, but I had it on the radio like an old man, listening to it on the radio. But we caught the final, probably the final 6-7 holes when we got back from Buffalo. But yeah, shit was electric.
I would have taken anyone but Rory to win that, but
they don't like him over here.
I don't like him.
He doesn't like him. Our other buddy on the golf team doesn't
I don't like him.
him.
It's a tough look, but I really don't like him.
That's the first time I ever watched golf, and I was
he's basically like, you guys are too young for this, but he's like Kobe Bryant. People either loved him or hated him. Like it's the same way with him. I don't know. Like I love Scotty. I thought him being 11 under in 2 days is just fucking absurd. Like 11 under in 2 days at the Masters is wild. But I wish there was a few extra holes so we could add a playoff. Like that would have been fun.
Yeah, that was one of the crazier ones. I've only watched it for 2 years now, but like the leaderboard, the top five was so packed. Like at one point it was Rose, Young and Rory all tied, and then it switched, and then Rory got first, and then he bogeyed the one hole, and then he chipped in. It was ridiculous. It was such a fun Masters to
I
watch.
thought we were going to get a 5-person playoff at the end.
That would have been
That'd be
amazing.
pretty crazy.
As long as Rory didn't win, I would have been even happier. But
I watched the end of the match at Ty's house, and I feel like my mind is since I've retired from basketball about 2 months ago now. I feel like my brain has opened up on, like, before I was like, only basketball's all I care about, nothing else matters, and I don't care. Golf's stupid, too slow, and now I've definitely like opened up my mind to like, some things are not.
Speaking about retired, this is just bringing my bell because you remember when you airballed that free throw in practice?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Okay. So no. You got to hit Mac up because Mac, it was like our second to last practice or our last practice of his career. And the dude had the same type of airball you had.
That's awesome.
charge hard.
But it was in the middle. At least like my excuse was like, it was
it wasn't the charge. Like, it wasn't as bad as yours, but it was bad.
But he was like, his blood was warm at that point. Like, he was warmed up.
We went through like 50 minutes of practice.
Yeah, so that's different. I was like on one leg, just finished rehab. It was freezing. My arms were locked. My elbow was locked.
Yeah, but you also had spent nothing but the last 6 weeks doing only free throws. That was the only thing you were allowed to do.
That's it. And all we do is we talk about that, not just the miss though. We talk about Travis Sanders' face.
You talk about when I was spotting up on when I was on defense. I was gonna green that shit too. I can't lie.
I was like, Max, what are you doing?
We don't have a ton of time left, but one thing I want to ask you before we wrap it up is, do you have any crazy stories? We have those. We just talked about 2 stories, and they just involved me. I'm sure you have some very funny stories that involve some of those characters over at FDU that I'd love to have a laugh about.
Preferably ex-Medaille people too.
Okay. Well, you love it. Quan, his first year he transferred in. He's taking the bus to the team. We're going out to Lebanon Valley College, and I get to the game probably an hour and 15 minutes before. He comes up to me, he's like, "Coach." I'm like, "What's up?" He goes, I don't have my shoes." I was like, fucking terrific. So luckily, him and I got in my car and we were driving around fucking central Pennsylvania to find like a famous footwear. We end up finding one and we bought like him a pair of Giannis's shoes. Like, he paid for it. And we drive back to the game. We get there like fucking 26 minutes left on the clock to go play a game. He ended up shitting the bed. And I was like, not just the fucking shoes that fucked me over, but you fucked me over on that one too. He was laughing about it. But like,
that's funny.
I don't know. Quan fucking forgetting his shoes. Mac, his airball was pretty fucking funny. Murph still doesn't talk. So like that is what it is. And I don't know. There's some wild stories, probably not suitable for air within that group.
Fair.
But and we have some wild stories about the other kids on my roster too, that they're very similar to how you guys were, which is why I'm starting to become happier now, is because I have kids of like you guys that are a bunch of slap dicks, but like they make me laugh and they try really hard and things along those lines. And now just like you guys, I have my whole team on creatine.
It's awesome. You're welcome.
Yeah, we gotta get stronger, Chris. We gotta get stronger.
I think we had honestly like the most unique group of human beings to ever be assembled in one room together on Medaille. Like, there are some actual insane
things. We had Demo, we had Kobe, we had
Warren, and Warren's buddy.
Oh my God, Trey! Remember when he couldn't dribble down the court in perfection?
He was so hungover.
Oh my God, dude! It took him like 40 minutes.
No, it was you. I think you kicked him off the team after like 20 minutes.
It was bad. And then when Mac and Warren almost got into it, and there was like an issue. And Demo was there. Yeah.
And you had Tay, who thought the earth was flat. And you have Rari, who just lives in a permanent state of bliss.
Rari still does.
And then you had Quan and Oscar, Tay and Oscar, who were roommates who were actively non-speaking terms for like 2 months. Holy shit. We had Joe Vio, which is a whole nother story.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were wild.
We had a crazy group of people.
That
was a time to be alive for sure.
That was a great time.
That was a time to be alive.
I miss that place, man. I miss it.
What is in place of Medaille right now? Is it like still exactly how it is? But
I think it's like a boarding school or a charter school has taken it over and bought it out. I don't know. Like I haven't really followed much with it because I'm still pissed off. It made me move. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
So me and Ian Green,
Ian Green, holy shit!
Because I'm sure you probably heard the story at this point, but like when my car broke down driving to this school, I had to I had to rent a car, and then Ian Green just decided to hop in with me and drive all the way back down to Medaille. And so we hung out with like Rari, Tay, Jovia, all of them in Buffalo. We went and looked at Medaille and like walked through the gym, and it was just full of all the stuff. I'm pretty sure like after the bank foreclosed it, they just took everything on campus and shoved it into the gym.
It's so sad, man. That gym was awesome. I love that place.
I can't imagine.
Pissed.
I mean, you probably spent more time at that place between being a coach and being a player than a lot of other places in the world. Like that was, so I can't even imagine what that was like for you.
It's a fifth of my life, right? I spent 8-9 years there out of 9 years.
You met Leanne there from my memory.
Yeah. We met. She was a junior when I was a freshman. Like we dated. Like so, I met my wife there.
Yeah.
Won a lot of games there.
Yeah.
Coached there.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Well, of what? The Hall of Fame of a school that closed now. So
What do they
You should put that on the wall.
They send that to you, like the picture on the
oh,
wall.
I ripped the plaque off the wall. Like I have it in my basement. I took the whole fucking thing. I have it down to the nines. I sold our shooting machine too. I gave it to my buddy, the one that was at St. Joe's before he passed, and they gave me like $3,000 for it. He's like, well, you don't have a job, you don't have a check, so just sell me it for a discount rate, and I'll just give you cash. I was like, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
And we got 3 minutes left until we're
Fire
kicked
one
off.
then. Yeah.
I'm dry.
I think we
just ask for a
covered.
piece of advice. Just
So now Chris and I are we're graduating in
a month.
going into the real world. Pretty crazy that like college career started, obviously being coached by you, and now it's crazy how it just like went by like this. Like now we're out of college, starting in the real world. Don't necessarily know what Chris will be doing yet. I'm working for a company called Deloitte, and going to be doing consulting on risk. Is probably the simplest way to say it. And you have any piece of advice for us going into the real world to leave us off with? Obviously, you brought us into the college world, and now we're exiting. So you have any advice that we can take with us?
Yeah, I don't be afraid to take chances, man. Like I think early on in your 20s, you guys are talented people. Make sure you're nice to everybody because you never know where an opportunity might come from. But I would say be aggressive, take chances. Like you're still trying to figure life out in your 20s, man. Don't put pressure on like friends that might get really good jobs, or maybe you're not in the same spot you thought you want to be in at this time. Like it's all going to come together when it needs to come together. 20s is about figuring it out, and then in your 30s you kind of settle down and start, making a name for yourself out there. But like my biggest thing is take chances, have fun, be nice to people, meet tons of people, network. Like you never know where doors are going to open to. So you guys will be fine. You guys will be successful. I think what's really cool is what you're doing with this podcast and talking to different people and getting to know everyone's stories. Like that's what you got to do when you get in the real world, right? Know everyone's stories and kind of use that to your knowledge.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today, making some time. This was a very full circle moment for Shipped Across the Border, and definitely thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Thank you, man.
For sure, guys. I appreciate you guys. It was great seeing you.
Awesome. Take care.
All right, guys.